Guten Tag und herzlich willkommen. It's Sauber Saturday. I hope all of you are keeping superbly well. You joined me for round 7 in Canada, and I'm going to try actually to push through to the end of the season and give you a bit of a bigger bumper weekend episode. Hope that tickles your fancies. Um, Taking a look at how things are going, it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. We've picked up a few deals here and there, but we also had a double DNF last round. In other news, Benetton have picked up a works contract with Bridgestone, which is good news for them. Um, we have two very upset drivers, but that's okay. Williams have signed a deal with Mechachrome for customer engines. That's a weird choice to continue that particular partnership. Ricardo Zonta will be moving to Stewart. Ferrari, Jordan, and McLaren have all picked up some sponsors, and yeah, that's pretty much all we care about. We're still on our A spec car, no surprises there. We have a 2 season team sponsorship deal with Red Bull in place for 21.2 million. We're also closing in on a 10.6 million 2 season deal with Peugeot for their engines, a 2 season partnership deal with Goodyear, and a 1 season partnership deal with Agip. We're also chasing down Petronas. Not sure we're going to get them before someone else does, but that's okay. There's plenty of other 5-star sponsors for us to be milking. We are running hospitality though to try and smooth things along. Only providing a 3-star experience, but that's the best we can manage. And we are still majority shareholders of the team, so that's good news indeed. We are really just one deal away from beating our year-on-year budget, so that's also superb news. Let's see how we are in terms of car wear and such like. We've got damage on both cars. We have wear on all the cars. Next year's car is slightly behind schedule, but nothing we can't overcome. I'll give that another round and see how we do. The B-spec car is ready to go into the computational fluid dynamics stage, and we are starting to work on some of our pretty hideous reliability problems in the hope that that carries forward. Let's build us some spare parts first of all. And then I will take a look at the staffing situation. I'm not sure I'm going to bother with testing at this round, but let's see. So we have all our drivers planned for next season. That's all tickety-boo. Again, I do enjoy this idea of taking unknown drivers and building them up, so that should be exciting. We just need to make sure we give them a good car. I'm going to hire another bod for our design team. We have plenty of people signed as team leads for next year. Again, we're taking relatively unknown people, with the exception of Mike Gascoigne, who's too good to miss. Right. Do I bother testing? Do I? Do I? Fuck it, why not? We need to make sure we give good car next year. Okay, so we have 4 spare parts and we need 6, so that's not an ideal situation. What I'm going to do is completely fix the wear on car 1 but leave it damaged, and then split the spare parts otherwise for car 2. And then see how many mechanics we have left over. Probably not enough, but let's see. Actually, I'm going to repair the damage on car 1 as well, and we're just slightly favouring John Lacey. Everything else is set up and as good as it's ever going to be. Let's blast through this season and see what we get out of it, shall we? I think that seems like a reasonable setup. Okay, no updates, what a surprise. Johnny Lacey on the soft compound, Johnny Herbert taking the hard compound. Let's diddly do it. 23 degrees, cloudy with a very strong wind in qualifying. Let's see how we do. Not great. Johnny Herbert lines up in P12, just ahead of the arrows of Mika Salo and behind Damon Hill's Jordan. Johnny Lacey is actually off the pace of his teammate by a good 3/10 actually. He languishes down in 15th, splitting the Stewarts. Meanwhile, up at the fancy sharp end, David Coulthard's McLaren on a 1:18.635 is your pole sitter, ahead of the Williams of Frentzen and Newhouse. Giancarlo Fisichella's Benetton will line up fourth, ahead of the Ferraris, led by Irvine there, and Mika Hakkinen qualifies outside the top six. Poor job. 25 degrees, very dry for the race. I'm going to actually stick a Lacey on heat cycled tyres, and we will do a 35-34 split with Herbert. It looks like the hard tyre is actually the one to be on here, from what I can tell, but I guess we will soon find out. Nul point in Canada. Jean Lacey fails to finish due to driver error, though it's actually qualified P11, so obviously he'd been lapped once alongside Herbert and Barrichello, and so that allows him to still be classified ahead of Trulli's Prost, which was 2 laps down. David Coulthard takes the win for McLaren ahead of Frentzen and Newhouse, making it 2 Williams on the podium. Mika Hakkinen makes a solid recovery to P4. Irvine and Wirtz take the final points positions. In the Drivers' Championship, Heinz-Harald Frentzen is the current leader, 29 to David Coulthard's 27 points. Coulthard just 1 point clear of Michael Schumacher. In the Constructors, Ferrari sit 1 point clear of Williams, who in turn are 3 points clear of McLaren. Benetton, Jordan, Arrows are the remaining classified runners. Wow, we lost a lot of money attending that Grand Prix. A lot of money. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, that's great news. We've got our 1-year partnership deal with Agip signed and done. I'm going to go after a small 1-star sponsor now. And I'm going to drop a TV advantage on the Peugeot deal. And I'm going to significantly cut expenditure on hospitality. It was a mistake for me to spend that much, actually. I'd taken for granted how much money we had, and actually I was only spending that because the previous round was Monaco. So there's a lesson there about being fucking stupid. Okay, let's see who else is a realistic option to speak to. Let's try and talk to Magnetti Morelli. See if we can't do anything with those guys. And I guess actually it wouldn't hurt to go for a bigger name, perhaps Fond Metal. And we'll just see how we do. I'm leaving 5% on the Agip deal because maybe we can get some cash on top. Likewise, very close to signing with Goodyear. What we really want is to sign that next round and then leave another 5% on there to try and negotiate us some bonuses for 2 years. Peugeot, we really want as many bonuses as possible, so that will be 15% at least through till the end of the season. And we're making progress with Red Bull. That's pleasing. I'm going to drop Agip now, and we can't take Goodyear. So we are going to take ourselves Petronas to the next Grand Prix. See if we can't smooth things over with those boys. Right, anyone to hire? No. I am going to do a quick headhunt in commercial though, because motherfucker. Because we really need some stronger staff actually. That's my assessment. Let's take a wee look at the news, shall we? Coulthard won from pole. Mercedes-Benz have a works deal in place with McLaren, continuing that relationship. Ferrari and Elf have entered into partnership, so no works fuel supply. Bizarrely coiffured Frenchman Emmanuel Collard will be driving for Jordan. Jan Magnussen will be moving to Ferrari. That's unlikely. Juan Pablo Montoya has signed with McLaren, are imitating life. Laurent Redon, another strangely coiffured Frenchman, will be driving for Arrows. A lot of new names entering the sport, actually. Schumacher got the fastest lap. Mika Salo has secured a move to Prost. Tora Takagi will be remaining with Tyrrell for at least another season. Arrows, Benetton, Jordan, Minardi and Prost have all signed sponsors, and we are the worst manager in F1. Boo-hoo. Right then, if the game doesn't crash on me, actually I will save it very quickly, I think that's smart. Welcome back. I'm going to give it another round to get, actually if I run testing maybe it's not so bad. Yeah, let's run a quick test, a very cheeky test. That didn't help the way I wanted it to, but it does at least give us the setup points that we need. I'm going to sell a little bit more of the team, another 5%, just to top up our coffers. There we go. Right. So, spare parts, obviously important step. We'll get the cars into race-worthy condition. We'll head off to France and see if we can't close out some more of these deals for next season. Our CAD and CAM facilities are in construction for next year. I am actually tempted also to throw out a supercomputer, given that it's a relatively low-cost endeavour. So why don't we get that built for next year as well? And then the year after, depending on how our budget looks, we will be adding either a workshop or a testing rig. Yeah, it puts us a little bit behind on our B-spec car. For the sake of 1 point, I'm going to actually bring the update forward a little bit. Did I already check if there's people to hire? I didn't strengthen the design department, so let's do that. Construction, we could also use some new names. If we can start building up a surplus of spare parts, that's already a sign that the team's moving in the right direction. I'm getting a terrible frame rate all of a sudden. Come on, recover. Give me a second, let me see if I can't get this fixed. Okay, that seems to have ironed it out. There was a DirectX 9 error that caused me to drop to 1 frame per second at times, and that wouldn't be very nice for you to watch, so yes. Right. All that's left to do now is get the cars in the best condition possible. We have totally worn out the T car. But that's okay. For the first round in a while, we have 2 perfectly race-ready machines. That's superb news. I'm actually going to... No, I'll wait and see if the share price goes up again. This really will be a sprint to the end of the season now, because what I have learned from doing 3 of these series now is that the most enjoyment comes from the second season onwards, when actually the team is one that you've sort of shaped. In the first year, you just kind of you're left dealing with decisions that you didn't make. So I think it's far more entertaining to pick things up in the second season, but I don't want to skip the first season, so let's just blast through. 24 degrees and dry for qualifying in France. Eddie Irvine is your pole sitter for Ferrari. 1 minute 15.183, a tiny fraction of a second ahead of Mika Häkkinen's McLaren, so very close fight for pole there. Schumacher lines up third. Frentzen and Newhouse make it a Williams 4-5, and Benetton qualify strongly 6th and 7th, both beating home the Coulthard's McLaren. We line up 12th with Herbert and 15th with Lacey. That's probably a tyre differential more than anything else. 29 degrees for the race. We will again one stop Herbert, see if that helps him make his way up the field. The car is moving backwards because we're not really we've not been able to bring any updates. Most teams above us in the standings will have brought at least one update by now. Let's see how we do. No points again. Jean Alesi again fails to finish. Why this time? Accident. He's really got to get it together, actually. Johnny Herbert brings it home 9th, on the same lap as the leader at least, but quite a way down. The winner, Mika Hakkinen for McLaren, Johnny Newhouse on the second step of the podium for Williams, Eddie Irvine's Ferrari lines up third, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, Mike Schumacher and Giancarlo Fisichella take the final points paying positions. How does that change the Drivers' Championship? Not a great deal, actually. Heinz-Harald Frentzen continues to lead 3 points clear of Mika Hakkinen. Schumacher and Irvine are tied for third place on 28 points. David Coulthard 27 points, and in 6th Johnny Newhouse on 26 points. So it's actually very much all to play for in the Drivers' Championship. Likewise, in the Constructors, Williams, Ferrari and McLaren taking it down to the wire. Williams currently your leaders, 2 points clear of Ferrari and McLaren, both on 56 apiece. It's the British Grand Prix. God bless you, ma'am. Right, no deal with Peugeot in place just yet. No improvement on progress with the Goodyear deal either. Let's see how we're looking with our new partners. Petronas don't seem that interested. We have a 1-season deal on the table potentially with Fond Metal. Scroll down, down. Magneti Marelli, 1-season deal for 1.2 million, and Intercond at least are offering a 2-season deal. That makes me a happy bunny. Okay, so not the best news, but it could definitely be worse. Really concerned that we're not finding any good designers. Any good commercial staff. That's really starting to hold us down. Although there is a bit of a glut on the market for a construction staff, which is perfectly timed. And we can actually slightly improve staffing for the design team, but it's commercial that's really bugging me. Right, we have a technology update ready to construct. Probably won't have the capacity to build that right now, and around late, but we have completed the first stage of design on next year's car. We will put all effort now onto next year's car. No point doing much more beyond that. Still no updates from any of our partners. I'm a little surprised Ferrari haven't come good with a few updates here and there, but I guess they have bigger fish to fry. 7 rounds remain in your 2019. What am I talking about? Your 1998 season. Do we bother with testing? That is the question. Car 3 can't test because his car is too worn. Okay, we're going to rush out next year's this season's update. I think we need to hire ourselves a wind tunnel. Very much like hiring a bouncy castle, I suspect. Let's pop that in, and onwards we go. We do have enough spare parts to get both cars into tippy-top condition, so that's at least is something. we just need to get a little bit more cash, just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. But at least we have one of our key suppliers in place. We are getting quite late in the season, so hopefully the rest comes. Can I spend some cash, Ola, to get this technology update done? Yes, I can. Why not then? Another 5% of the team on the market. Kaboom. We'll sell some more for the final build of next year's cars as well, no doubt. Right, I will be right back because I'm getting frame rate issues again and the game is busting my balls. I'll be right back. Between you and me, I have no idea what's going on, and I've got a sneaky feeling that this computer is going to totally give out on me in a matter of days or weeks. And it's an iMac, believe it or not, and that means it's going to cost a fucking fortune to repair if it does. Yeah, I have no idea. Look at that frame rate. That's really not sexy. I don't know if that's going to come out on the recording or not, but yeah, that's got to stop. I tell you what, I'm going to call the video here, and I will restart. I'll do some other bits and see if I can't get this issue ironed out. I'm sorry, I wanted to push through to the end of the season today. Maybe I'll do a separate video later on today or tomorrow. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Take care of yourselves, and we will talk very soon.